Dyslipidemia or abnormal cholesterol, also commonly called high cholesterol, is one of the main causes of heart diseases and stroke worldwide. What is dyslipidemia and how does it happen? How do we contract high cholesterol? I am sure you heard that excess consumption of fat or unhealthy fat causes dyslipidemia or abnormal cholesterol. Did that make sense? Some people barely eat fat. They have put themselves on a fat restricted diet, but they still have abnormal cholesterol. So what causes abnormal cholesterol or dyslipidemia in that situation? What really causes dyslipidemia? Before I answer that question, please let's define dyslipidemia or abnormal or high cholesterol first. Stay tuned. Please watch until the end. Welcome to this channel. My name is Adeline. I am a doctor of pharmacy. On the lipid panel, there are many types of cholesterol and the triglycerides, which are the main form of fat in the body. But I am going to present only two types of those cholesterols here. The first one is the HDL, is the high density lipoproteins, and the second one is the LDL, low density lipoproteins, and we do have our triglycerides. The normal range of low density lipoproteins, LDL, is less than 100 milligrams per deciliter, and the normal range of triglycerides is less than 150 milligrams per deciliter or lower. If either the triglycerides level is higher than 150 milligrams or the LDL levels is higher than 100 milligrams per deciliter or both are higher, the cholesterol is abnormal or there is high cholesterol or dyslipidemia. In some cases, it's when the HDL, high density lipoproteins, is lower than the normal range. In short, dyslipidemia is defined as your different types of cholesterol number and or your triglycerides number being different from the normal range. How do you know if you do have dyslipidemia or abnormal cholesterol? It requires a medical provider to diagnose you with dyslipidemia or abnormal cholesterol. But to be on top of your health, you can take a look at your lab results from your lab test and take a look at these different parameters we just discussed. What I want to bring to your attention here is that do not look at those individually. Do not look at your cholesterol, your LDL, your HDL, or your triglycerides individually. Yes, I know that when I said that in the definition, that is when one of those two, particularly LDL or triglyceride, is higher than the normal range. That's the definition they said. But in reality, what puts you at high risk of heart disease I just talked about is not those numbers individually. What you want to do instead is calculate the ratio of your triglycerides to HDL, which is the predictor of cardiovascular diseases risk. That's actually the most important one. That's the take-home message I have for you here. Let's do an illustration on how to calculate the ratio of triglycerides to HDL, high density lipoproteins. Let's say somebody triglycerides is 160 and the person's HDL is 60 milligrams per deciliter. The triglycerides to HDL ratio would be 160 divided by 60, which is 2.6. What is the normal ratio? I'm not very sure about that, but the lower is the best. I read many studies and they all agree that a ratio of 2 and less is very good. Some studies say 3 is okay, but 5 is the worst. So let's say a ratio between 2 and 3 is okay, but 2 would be actually the best one. You can do your own research on that. I do want to repeat this, and I cannot emphasize more on it. If you do want to know if you have dyslipidemia, do the ratio triglycerides to HDL. Do not worry about any individual value of LDL or triglycerides. The reason I'm emphasizing on this is that LDL has been known for long times for being the bad cholesterol, which is not true at all. There is nothing wrong with LDL, and I am going to get to that in a moment. So if you want to know if you are at high risk of heart diseases, do not worry about one individual value on your lipid panel. Do the ratio triglycerides to HDL. If you do have a big concern regarding your triglycerides to HDL ratio, if your triglycerides to HDL ratio is very high or is too high, and you think that you are at high risk of heart diseases, have your medical provider order a C-reactive protein test for you. That's another predictor of cardiovascular risk. It's very, very important. Do not take it lightly, because many people do not survive when they have heart attack or stroke. So this is something that you really have to take seriously. How do we move from abnormal cholesterol to heart attack or stroke? It's via atherosclerosis, which is the formation of plaque into the blood vessel, into the intima, which is one of the layers of the blood vessels. How do plaque cause heart attack? The LDL deposit into the intima, one of the layers of the blood vessels. When those LDLs get deposited there, they undergo oxidative stresses. When the LDL is oxidized, the macrophages, the white blood cell, in order to prevent the other part of the cell to receive the same stress to be oxidized, the macrophages engulf the oxidized LDL to prevent the cell damage. The engulfed cell would then send signals to other white blood cells to come, which causes an inflammatory reaction. That process happens over and over, and with time, the plaque is formed. Now, one day, for some reason, if the plaque breaks, a small part of the plaque would mingle with blood and block the vessels in the heart, preventing the flow of the blood to the other part of the heart, and that's when heart attack happens. Now that we do have an idea of what dyslipidemia is, let's answer the question, what causes dyslipidemia? But before we answer that question, I want to bring up that there are two types of dyslipidemia, and we will be talking about the second one here. The first one is the primary dyslipidemia, that is usually genetic, and the second one is the one that is caused by a lifestyle or a medical condition that somebody might have. It is well known, as we said in the beginning, by almost everyone, that fast food is the cause of dyslipidemia. And it is also well known by most people that LDL, low density lipoproteins, are the bad cholesterol that deposit into our blood vessels and cause plaque. Yes, unhealthy consumption of fat would cause dyslipidemia, But so many people have reduced or have totally stopped eating fat and they still have dyslipidemia and they even gain weight. So fat is not the problem for everyone. Some people don't eat fat at all and they still have dyslipidemia or abnormal cholesterol. And low HDLs are not the one causing plaque in the blood vessels that will lead to heart attack or stroke. Here is the problem. Oxidized LDLs are the one responsible of all the bad news, not LDLs on themselves. Normally, HDL, which is also known as good cholesterol, high density lipoproteins, picked up LDL from the bloodstream and bring them back to the liver. Unfortunately, when LDLs get oxidized in the blood vessel, HDL do not recognize them anymore and cannot pick them up anymore. And that's why they stay there and cause inflammation that would eventually cause plaque that would lead to heart attack one day. All cholesterols, including HDL and LDL, are produced in the liver. In his book, Why We Get Sick, Dr. Bigman explains that the liver produces two types of low-density lipoproteins, LDLs. One that is large and light in weight, and another one that's small but dense in weight. Dr. Bigman explains that the small and dense LDLs are the ones that get into our blood vessels and form plaque. Unfortunately, insulin resistance drives the promotion of small dense LDLs in the liver and also promotes oxidation of those same LDLs in the blood vessels. So to answer the question, what causes dyslipidemia? If you're talking about secondary dyslipidemia, we agree that unhealthy fast food are part of it. But one main cause of dyslipidemia is insulin resistance. And we said earlier that primary dyslipidemia is caused by genetic. It's something that we inherit from our parents. If you do have dyslipidemia or high cholesterol or abnormal cholesterol and you do want to reverse it naturally, you need to reverse insulin resistance. I talk about how to reverse insulin resistance in my other videos. You can watch this video regarding metabolic syndrome. At the end of the video, you will see how you can reverse insulin resistance naturally. If you do have dyslipidemia or abnormal cholesterol and you are trying to reverse it naturally, or if you know anybody in that situation, please drop the comment below and share your experience with us. Thank you. If you do have a particular question regarding anything I said in the video, please send a message to my Instagram or drop a comment down below with your question. If you have learned anything new in this video today, please like and share. And if you would like to be notified the next time I post a new video, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. We do live in a very stressful environment. Please show love around you. Show love to strangers you don't know. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.